Do you remember the classic 90s sitcom Step by Step, 1991 to 1998? The show followed the ups and downs of a blended family and quickly became a fan favorite thanks to its heartwarming humor, relatable storylines, and unforgettable characters. While many of the actors went on to lead successful lives and careers, some of the beloved stars who made us laugh and cry have tragically passed away. In this video, we take a heartfelt look back at the lives, legacies, and untimely deaths of the step-by-step cast members we've lost. From emotional tributes to little-known facts about their final years, we honor their contributions to television and remember the joy they brought to millions of viewers. Suzanne Summers was born on October 16, 1946, and at age 45, she took on the role of Carol Foster Lambert in 1991. Carol was the epitome of maternal warmth and structure, anchoring the chaos of a blended family with optimism and order. But behind the sitcom smile, Summers' real life was a study in controversy and reinvention. Her career was marred early by a bitter salary dispute on Three's Company, where she demanded pay equity with male co-star John Ritter. The fallout was swift. She was fired, sued the network, and was awarded a mere fraction of her claim. Off-screen, Summers' personal life was no less turbulent. She married at 19 after an unplanned pregnancy, divorced soon after, and later had an affair with married TV host Alan Hamill, leading to an abortion before they eventually wed. Summers posed nude for Playboy twice, once without her consent, and later claimed it was to pay for her son's medical bills. Diagnosed with breast cancer in 2000, she rejected chemotherapy, opting instead for controversial natural remedies. She died on October 15, 2023, at age 76, from breast cancer that had metastasized to her brain. David Graff was born on April 16, 1950, and appeared on Step by Step in 1993 as Dave Roberts, bringing a memorable comedic energy at the age of 43. His character was eccentric, intense, and often hilariously over-the-top, reminiscent of his best-known role as Sergeant Eugene Tackleberry in the Police Academy films, where his love for firearms and chaos made him a fan favorite. Behind the scenes, however, Graff's life was far less explosive than his characters. He was regarded as kind-hearted and deeply committed to his craft but struggled with underlying health issues, including a hereditary heart condition that many in his family suffered from. While he avoided public scandals, insiders hinted at moments of personal frustration due to typecasting and difficulty landing roles outside his iconic parts. His sudden death from a heart attack during a family wedding in Phoenix was a tragic blow that highlighted the silent battles he fought away from the spotlight. Graff's untimely passing on April 7, 2001 at just 50 years old cut short what could have been a longer, more varied career. Peggy Ray was born on March 31, 1921, and at the age of 70, she joined Step by Step in 1991 as Ivy Baker, the sharp-tongued yet loving aunt whose wit and traditional values brought a stabilizing force to the blended Lambert family. Ray's long television career spanned decades with recurring roles in iconic series like The Waltons and The Dukes of Hazzard, where she was typecast as the strong matriarch. Despite her extensive work in Hollywood, Peggy's private life remained shrouded in mystery, with almost no public record of scandal or personal controversy, a rarity in an industry rife with tabloid drama. Rumors of tension with some co-stars circulated quietly, but nothing ever surfaced publicly. Known for her professionalism, Ray managed to maintain a dignified reputation amid the chaos of show business. However, reports later revealed she quietly battled loneliness and health problems in her later years. She died on February 5, 2011, at the age of 89, succumbing to complications from congestive heart failure. Mickey Jones, born June 10, 1941, entered Step by Step at 52 years old as Virgil, a blue-collar, no-nonsense character who balanced toughness with a hidden softness, enriching the show's dynamic with his southern charm. Prior to acting, Jones had a successful career as a drummer for legendary artists like Bob Dylan and Kenny Rogers, which lent him a rare authenticity and depth in his performances. His rugged, often gruff characters masked a genuinely warm and talented man off-screen, known for his storytelling and musical prowess. Despite this seemingly solid public persona, Jones battled with the challenge of maintaining two demanding careers and the pressures of Hollywood's relentless pace. There were whispers of on-set clashes and personal struggles with the transition from musician to actor, though nothing scandalous ever surfaced publicly. Jones maintained a scandal-free reputation, focusing on his craft until his death on February 7, 2018, at 76, after which colleagues remembered him as a consummate professional with a gentle heart. Tony Longo was born on August 19, 1961, and took on the role of Soupy in Step by Step at age 30, a character known for his towering stature and goofy innocence that cleverly contrasted his physical appearance. Longo often found himself typecast as the gentle giant, roles that leaned heavily on his size but showcased a surprisingly tender comedic timing. Off-screen, he was cherished for his warmth, generosity, and the genuine kindness he extended to friends and fans alike. Yet beneath the surface, Longo faced prolonged health battles including congestive heart failure and kidney complications, which seriously impacted his life and work for years. Despite his challenges, he maintained a scandal-free profile, steering clear of the industry's darker sides such as substance abuse or public feuds. His quiet struggles were largely kept private, known only to close associates. Tony Longo passed away on June 21, 2015, at 53, his death a somber reminder of the unseen health battles many actors endure behind their bright screen personas. Nedra Voles, born June 18, 1908, took on the role of Mrs. Slazak in Step by Step in 1993 at the age of 85. Her character was cheeky, sharp-tongued, and unfiltered, traits that mirrored more of her real-life persona than many realized. While the public adored her quirky grandma roles, few knew that her early vaudeville career was mired in backstage gossip and strained professional rivalries. Despite a seemingly scandal-free life, insiders whispered about her behind-the-scenes clashes with younger co-stars who found her abrasive and dominating. She was known to openly belittle writers on set if she found her lines unfunny, sometimes demanding rewrites mid-scene. Her long marriage masked a private sorrow. She endured decades of emotional distance, and her only child struggled with addiction, eventually severing contact. In her final years, Voles reportedly became increasingly paranoid and isolated, believing former agents had stolen from her. She passed away on January 20, 2003, at age 94, due to complications from Alzheimer's disease. Al Molinaro, born June 24, 1919, played the cheerful Joe Passarelli in Step by Step in 1992 at age 73. Best remembered for his bumbling but lovable characters, Molinaro carefully cultivated a wholesome public image, but off-screen, things were murkier. Though he avoided traditional Hollywood excesses, former cast members whispered about his volatile temper during rehearsals. He reportedly held grudges, especially toward directors who didn't respect old-school comedy. His early business ventures before acting, particularly a failed real estate scheme, led to a quiet bankruptcy in the 60s that he buried with PR spin. Friends said he never fully recovered emotionally from a sibling's suicide, which haunted him with guilt for decades. While loyal to his religious beliefs, he reportedly used them to justify estrangement from a gay nephew, a painful family rift that remained unresolved. Al Molinaro passed away on October 30, 2015, aged 96, from complications related to gallstones. Pat Crawford Brown, born June 29, 1929, appeared in Step by Step in 1992 as the stern yet endearing Mrs. Hill at age 63. On screen, she was every bit the nosy but lovable neighbor, but her personal history was far less quaint. Before acting, she left a troubled marriage that ended in a scandalous restraining order, something she never publicly addressed. Brown's late entry into Hollywood masked a history of bitterness toward a younger sister who had once been a rising star before vanishing mysteriously in the 1950s. Rumors swirled for years that Brown knew more than she let on. Despite often playing sweet older ladies, she was infamous on set for her sharp tongue, once berating a director for incompetence during a shoot. A vocal disciplinarian, she remained estranged from her only daughter, who in later years described her mother as unbearably cold. Pat Crawford Brown died on July 2, 2019, at the age of 90, just 3 days after her birthday. Don Knotts, born July 21, 1924, guest starred as Deputy Fief in Step by Step in 1993, reprising his signature frazzled lawman persona at the age of 69. Behind his slapstick charm lay a lifetime of deep anxiety, obsessive perfectionism, and destructive insecurity. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce after allegations of emotional neglect and infidelity. His second was marred by accusations from insiders that he controlled and isolated his spouse. Known in the industry for sudden mood swings, Knotts once disappeared from set for 3 days during a depressive spiral, shocking the cast of Three's Company. He was also a chronic hypochondriac, fixated on health scares, which alienated many colleagues. Despite 5 Emmys, his career saw a dramatic dip in the 80s, and he was briefly blacklisted after a public feud with a powerful studio head. A reclusive final decade saw him estranged from old friends and plagued by regret. Don Knotts died on February 24, 2006, aged 81, from respiratory complications due to lung cancer. Doris Roberts, born November 4, 1925, appeared in Step by Step in 1994 as Aunt Edna at age 69, delivering her trademark blend of sarcasm and maternal warmth. But the woman behind the biting wit was no stranger to real-life darkness. She rose to fame while fighting behind closed doors with an abusive husband she later divorced, though she never publicly named him. Her son battled addiction for years, resulting in multiple arrests that she quietly covered up with legal payoffs. Roberts was notorious for her off-screen feuds. She had a well-documented clash with Ray Romano's camp over script control during Everybody Loves Raymond. Co-stars described her as domineering and manipulative, often leveraging her veteran status to override directors. In private, she grieved the loss of her closest friend to suicide, an event that sent her into a prolonged period of depression she never spoke about publicly. Doris Roberts died in her sleep on April 17, 2016, at the age of 90. Ron Carabatsos was born April 22, 1933, and took the small but memorable role of delivery man in Step by Step in 1992 at age 59, drawing on his tough, no-nonsense past as a former homicide detective to inform his gritty, authentic portrayals. His off-screen life was riddled with turmoil and dark rumors rarely aired publicly. His marriage collapsed amid allegations of domestic abuse, with insiders hinting at violent confrontations and strained family ties that led to a permanent estrangement from his children. As a detective, Carabatsos was no stranger to controversy. Whispered accusations of brutality and heavy-handed tactics dogged his career, and some colleagues feared his temper and unpredictable nature. He was notorious for heavy drinking and episodes of aggression on set, which reportedly caused clashes with directors and other actors, leading to threats of blacklisting. Though he maintained a low profile, these undercurrents colored his personal reputation until his death on April 17, 2012, at 78, closing a chapter marked by toughness and personal demons. Janette Miller was born on July 30, 1932, and portrayed Mrs. Whitney in Step by Step in 1996 at age 64, playing a sweet yet eccentric elderly character who added warmth and humor to the family dynamic. Her character masked the complicated real-life story of typecasting that limited her to quirky grandmother roles for decades, frustrating her artistic ambitions. Industry insiders whispered about her volatile temperament, alleging that Miller could be cold and vindictive toward colleagues, which contributed to long periods of unemployment. Off-screen, she struggled with loneliness after a bitter divorce and was rumored to have developed an alcohol dependency to cope with depression and the pressures of aging in Hollywood. Friends close to her spoke quietly about mysterious, unexplained hospitalizations and emotional breakdowns, though she kept these hidden from the public. Despite these dark undercurrents, Miller maintained a polished public persona and avoided major scandals until her death on November 4, 2016, at 84, marking the end of a life that balanced charm with deep personal turmoil. Denise Dowse, born February 21, 1958, played the authoritative Judge Martin in Step by Step in 1998 at age 40, bringing a commanding and dignified presence to the show's legal scenes. Dowse's career was defined by her dedication to promoting diversity and authenticity in Hollywood, but her personal life was far more turbulent. Close acquaintances revealed her long battle with anxiety and depression, which caused frequent emotional isolation and conflicts with producers over creative differences. She was known to have a complicated relationship with her family, including estrangement from her only child, though details were carefully guarded. Rumors circulated of a brief, tumultuous marriage that ended in a messy divorce involving public accusations and legal battles, adding to the actress's stress. Although she avoided public scandals, sources said she struggled silently with substance abuse and health issues for years. Denise's life ended tragically when she slipped into a coma caused by meningitis and died on August 13, 2022, at 64. Fred Willard, born September 18, 1933, joined Step by Step as Burt Lambert in 1997 at age 64, infusing the character with his signature awkward humor and deadpan delivery. Beneath his affable screen presence lay a man who wrestled with significant personal demons. His career was briefly overshadowed in 2012 when he was arrested for lewd conduct at an adult theater, an incident that shocked the entertainment world despite charges being dropped. Industry insiders spoke of his struggles with depression and alcohol abuse that sometimes spilled into his professional life, causing him to be labeled difficult and unpredictable on set. Willard's long marriage was reportedly marred by infidelity rumors and secret extramarital affairs that fueled tabloid speculation but never fully surfaced publicly. Despite these challenges, he continued to work prolifically in comedy until his death from cardiac arrest linked to myelodysplastic syndrome on May 15, 2020, at 86, leaving behind a legacy entwined with laughter and private hardship. Tom O'Rourke was born on March 28, 1944, and played John Patterson in Step by Step in 1992 at 48 years old. His character often represented authority, playing judges or lawyers with a commanding presence that brought gravitas to the show. Yet, O'Rourke's off-screen life was riddled with volatility. Known in the industry for a quick temper and clashes with directors, he developed a reputation for being difficult to work with, which severely damaged his career prospects after the early 2000s. Multiple acrimonious divorces left him embroiled in bitter legal battles, with leaked accusations of infidelity and emotional abuse igniting tabloid scandals that he fought to keep out of court. Those close to him later disclosed a hidden battle with alcoholism and prescription drug dependency, struggles that compounded his professional decline and social isolation. His death on September 13, 2009, at 65 remains shrouded in mystery, with the cause undisclosed, marking an end to a life shadowed by personal and professional upheaval. Diana Bellamy was born September 19, 1943, and appeared in Step by Step in 1994 at age 51 as a saleswoman. Her roles frequently combined sharp comedic timing with authoritative presence, often adding layers of complexity to minor characters. Bellamy's off-screen story is one of remarkable resilience shadowed by tragedy. She fought cancer, diabetes, and blindness in her final years, all while continuing to work. She also endured a tumultuous personal life, including a vicious feud with a co-star that escalated to on-set confrontations and legal threats, as well as a painful, high-profile divorce that drained her emotionally and financially. Struggling with depression and a hidden alcoholism, Bellamy was known to rely heavily on alcohol as a coping mechanism, a fact seldom discussed publicly. She passed away from cancer on June 17, 2001, aged 57, leaving behind a legacy of strength tempered by private pain and professional conflict. Richard Rote was born on July 3, 1933, and portrayed Bill Lambert in Step by Step in 1992 when he was 59. His character was memorable for its quirky charm and eccentricity, adding comic relief and depth to the storyline. Behind the charm, Rote's career faced significant turbulence. He was caught in a prolonged contractual dispute with a major studio that effectively blacklisted him for several years, derailing what could have been a more prominent career. Off-camera, his private life was marked by turmoil. A bitter, public divorce left him estranged from his children amid rumors of compulsive gambling, which reportedly drained his finances and strained family relationships. Colleagues described him as brilliant but difficult, often withdrawn, battling inner demons masked by his easygoing public persona. He died of a heart attack on August 5, 2022, aged 89, his life a study in contrasts between professional talent and personal hardship. Peter Dennis was born on October 25, 1933, and appeared as the auctioneer in Step by Step in 1996 at the age of 63. His character brought a sharp, refined British wit that subtly elevated the show's comedic dynamic. On screen, Dennis was the epitome of class and dry humor, often embodying an air of sophistication. However, behind this polished veneer, his career was marked by long stretches of obscurity, struggling to break out of character roles that pigeonholed him. Despite his acclaimed one-man show celebrating A.A. Milne, he faced repeated setbacks and frustration in mainstream Hollywood. Offstage, colleagues recalled his obsessive perfectionism, which often alienated cast and crew, leading to a reputation of being difficult to work with. Dennis lived a somewhat solitary personal life, rumored to have experienced estrangement from close family, though he maintained a deep devotion to the craft of acting and education. His death on April 18, 2009, at age 75 from cancer closed the chapter on a quietly brilliant yet underappreciated career shadowed by loneliness and unmet ambitions. Tom Lister Jr., born June 24, 1958, appeared as a security guard in Step by Step in 1995 at 37 years old. Best known as Tiny Lister, his towering figure and menacing roles belied a life rife with turmoil. His brief stint as a professional wrestler ended abruptly due to injuries and backstage disputes, fueling a volatile temper and several brushes with the law. He faced multiple legal battles, including lawsuits for assault and public altercations that painted him as unpredictable and difficult on set. Despite these controversies, Lister was deeply religious and committed to charitable causes, revealing a complex duality in his personality. His personal life was also marked by financial troubles and a turbulent romantic history, with multiple relationships ending in allegations of abuse and infidelity. Lister died on December 10, 2020, at 62 from hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, leaving a legacy tangled between his formidable screen presence and off-screen struggles. Mary Pat Gleason was born February 23, 1950, and portrayed Ms. Butkus in Step by Step in 1995 at age 45. Her character brought a no-nonsense, quirky energy to the show, often delivering comic relief with a sharp edge. Gleason's real life, however, was a raw battle with bipolar disorder, addiction, and mental health stigma. She courageously chronicled her struggles in her one-woman play Stopping Traffic, revealing periods of hospitalization, manic episodes, and substance abuse that strained her personal and professional life. Though she won an Emmy for writing and maintained a prolific acting career, her relationships often faltered under the weight of her mental illness, leaving her isolated at times. A passionate advocate for mental health awareness, she worked tirelessly to destigmatize psychiatric disorders even as she continued to face her own challenges. She passed away from uterine cancer on June 2, 2020, aged 70, remembered for transforming personal pain into a powerful voice for others. Matt Landers was born October 21, 1952, and played Mr. Parker in Step by Step in 1995 at age 43. Known for his gruff, tough guy persona on screen, Landers' off-camera life was rife with turmoil and controversy. His career, while steady, was marred by reports of heavy drinking and a volatile temper that led to multiple confrontations on set, nearly costing him roles. Industry insiders whispered of his gambling addiction, which caused financial instability and public altercations, fueling a reputation as unreliable and difficult. His personal life mirrored this chaos: multiple failed marriages, estrangement from his children, and public custody battles. Despite his tough exterior, those close to him revealed a man battling demons and regrets. Landers' life spiraled toward isolation as illness took hold, and he died of cancer on March 12, 2015, aged 62, remembered as a talented actor whose personal struggles overshadowed his professional achievements. Shirley Preia was born August 18, 1947, and portrayed Betty Jenkins in Step by Step in 1994 at 47. Preia's sharp wit and fearless comedic timing were hallmarks of her performances, yet her career was punctuated by fierce battles to be taken seriously in a cutthroat industry. She endured public scandal after a notorious on-set altercation during The Golden Girls that nearly derailed her career, revealing a volatile side that contrasted with her usually warm stage presence. Her personal life was equally turbulent, marked by several messy divorces and long-standing health issues that often threatened to sideline her. Preia was a founding member of the Groundlings, and despite the hardships, she remained fiercely dedicated to improv comedy until her final years. Her death from brain cancer on October 6, 2011, at 64 ended a life of resilience and unapologetic grit, a woman who battled both industry sexism and personal demons with equal ferocity. Peter Spelos was born March 1, 1954, and appeared as Big Jim in Step by Step in 1995 at age 41. Spelos was best known for his vibrant voice work, including his iconic role as Skybite in Transformers: Robots in Disguise, but his off-screen life was marked by intense personal and professional strife rarely publicized. Known to be fiercely protective of his creative autonomy, he clashed with agents and co-stars, earning a reputation for being difficult and sometimes controlling on set. Several promising live-action projects slipped through his fingers due to these conflicts. His personal life was troubled by a painful divorce that led to years of estrangement from his children, casting a shadow over his later years. Despite his struggles, Spelos was deeply committed to mentoring young talent in theater, often serving as a stabilizing figure behind the scenes. He succumbed to pancreatic cancer on November 19, 2023, aged 69, leaving behind a complicated legacy of brilliance shadowed by personal hardship. Lisa Sheridan was born December 5, 1974, and played Bonnie in Step by Step in 1997 at 23. Her ethereal beauty and haunting screen presence were often overshadowed by her private struggles with chronic alcoholism, a battle she fought mostly in silence. Despite roles in cult series like Freaky Links and Invasion, her promising career was repeatedly interrupted by rehab stints and rumors of erratic behavior on set. Sheridan's personal life was rife with secrecy and heartbreak, including broken engagements and whispered affairs that hinted at deeper emotional turmoil. Close friends recounted a woman desperately trying to maintain her fragile stability, often isolated and misunderstood within Hollywood's harsh spotlight. Her untimely death on February 25, 2019, from complications related to alcoholism at 44 was a grim reminder of the hidden costs of fame and the dark toll of addiction behind a luminous exterior. Who's your favorite character in Step by Step? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.